Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing my second ranking video of all time. We're doing my October ranking video. I'm ranking everything that I tried in the month of October from worst to best. And this month I tried 11 products, some of which entail multiple items. So yeah, it was a busy month for everyone, I think, and I did try a lot of things. So I'm here to tell you about them today. I'm doing this ranking video instead of my usual monthly favorites videos, just to shake it up a little bit. By the way, if you think my blush is a little bit too intense, we're getting to it. It won't go unnoticed. So quickly before I get started, I want to thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm Cecile, I'm 28 years old, I live in the Netherlands, and I upload 2 to 3 times a week with makeup related content, and I would love to share it with you, so please consider subscribing to my channel. And now let's get into the video. So we're going to start at number 11 with something that was genuinely bad. I hardly ever test anything that I find bad, but this is the color Crayon by Planet Revolution, which is the new sister brand or daughter brand of Makeup Revolution. And they had this freebie when I ordered from Boozy Shop to order something else. And I figured this Planet Revolution thing was kind of cool, so I decided to try this pencil. But oh, and I needed a brown pencil, and this is in light brown, but it's so hard. I'm going to try. Okay, so on my hand it's not too bad, but for some reason when I do this on my eye, it really doesn't look too bad on my hand. But when I do this on my eye, it scratches and it doesn't even leave any color behind. So I just feel like I sort of mutilated myself for no reason. It is a very long pencil, and I don't think it's very expensive either, but I kind of hate it. Then at number 10, we have, I tested a couple of new cheek products from the drugstore, so that's why I have a little bit more than I would usually have. So at number 10 I have this soda highlighter stick. I kept it in the box because I wanted to show it once more. The box is incredible, and the highlighting stick itself looks incredible too. And I don't think the formula is so bad. It's just that the color is so dark. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's definitely darker than my skin tone and a lot more yellow. And I thought it was going to be a lot more of a pale gold. It's almost a little bit green in certain lights. So I don't find this a very flattering shade, and it definitely wasn't marketed right on the website. Because it was marketed, or at least the picture looked like it was going to be a very pale gold, and it just wasn't. So I guess this isn't terrible. If you have a darker skin tone, this could look beautiful on you. But I also don't really love the formula. It's just a little bit too sheer for me, which is my complaint with most liquid highlighters or cream highlighters. So that's number 10. Then at number 9 I have this cheek contour slash bronzer stick by Milani. This is the Supercharged Cheek and Lip Multi-Stick. And this is kind of a weird product. It's supposed to be, at least I think this one is supposed to be a bronzer. It's called Electric Bronze, number 150. And it works fine, it blends out beautifully. But it's just so shiny. Do you see that? It's almost like it's a highlighter. And it doesn't look very pretty when I use it. It's just, the color is brilliant, but it's just a little bit too shiny for me. I kind of like my shine to be more in the center of my face, not too much on the outskirts of my face. And I also found maybe the color was just a little bit too light, because when the light was reflecting it, it looked almost like my skin tone. So it wasn't very visible, and I guess it just didn't really work for me. Then at number 8, we're going to the infamous cheek product that I have on my cheeks right now. My boyfriend warned me. He said that maybe I had to tone this down a little bit. And I said, no, the camera takes away a lot of it. But I'm looking in the viewfinder and I feel like it's pretty bright. I'm going to keep it like this because I don't want to mess with it anymore. But what I'm wearing on my cheek is another Planet Revolution product, which is super cute. It's this little box with this little pot, which is actually pretty giant. And it's the Cheek and Lip Duo in the shade Fresh Raspberry. And this is supposed to be beautiful, and it is. It even has the little protector and comes with a huge amount of product. 12 grams of product. I mean, it would take 2 lifetimes to go through something like this. So I thought it was pretty cool, and it was on sale for like $5. But the color is just so intense. I just dab my finger in there a little bit and it's like, maybe I should use it on my lips. Maybe that would work. Yeah, I like that better. I'm just sort of mixing it with the lip gloss I'm wearing. I feel like as a lip stain or a lip gloss it could work, but just on the cheeks it's so bright. I feel like there's almost no one who could pretty much wear this shade without having to put foundation on top of it, because this is with a little bit of foundation and some powder on top of it. It really, and I didn't use that much, I just dabbed my brush in it one time. It's just, I'm afraid it's just a little bit too much, but I'm going to keep it and I'm going to wear it as a lip stain or a lip tint, because I do really like this brand. I like the idea of having a sustainable makeup brand for a cheap price point. So, and I really like this pot, and I mean, it's not at the bottom of my list at all. It's a nice product. It's just, this is not really my color. I have one more product that I'm just a little bit iffy about, and then we're going into the good stuff. So at number 7 I have my second liquid illuminator. This is the Born to Glow Illuminator by NYX. I use this is in the shade Sunbeam, by the way. And I use this as an actual highlighter on the cheeks, and it's just a little bit too subtle for that. But then I used it the other day when I was wearing a little bit more natural makeup, and I thought it looked beautiful, and the shade is right for me. I find so many pink liquid illuminators are very deep. So I swatched it right over here, and it does give a pretty angelic glow. And I kind of like this pretty much not all over the face, but like on a larger part of my face than just my cheekbones, as a subtle glow on top of a matte foundation. I feel like that's kind of pretty. So I wasn't mad about this product, but it could have been a little bit more pigmented for my personal preference. Now we're halfway and we're moving into the good stuff. So at number 6 I have this other NYX product, which is the Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint, and I think this is such a beautiful product. I have it in the shade Nude Dude, which is just a weird name, I think. But I wanted a nudish gloss. I wanted a nudish blush, so I thought I would try this out. And this is like the opposite of that Planet Revolution thing. This one looks pretty pigmented, but it blends out to be kind of soft. And that's also how it feels. It feels very soft and moussey. So that's what you get on your cheeks, and I think this is a beautiful product. It really matches beautifully, but with a couple of other products that I'm going to mention in a little bit. This blends out beautifully. The only reason it's not a lot higher on the list is that I didn't try it a lot of times. I only tried it 2 times. But I did really like the result both times, so this is where it goes. Then I have one last final liquid or cream product from my liquid and cream product haul. And that's the Super Dewy's, what was it called? The Super Dewy Liquid Blush in You Got Me Blushing by Makeup Revolution. I actually own this one in a other shade too, a sort of light pink, and I really liked it. I just thought it wasn't very dewy, so I wanted to give this one a try. And this one I have been wearing a couple of times more than the others. That's why it ranked a little bit higher. So this color is very intense at first. Still not as intense as the Makeup Revolution one, but a little bit more intense. But like the NYX product, it just blends out beautifully. Still think it's maybe a little bit too dark for me, but that's on me for picking the wrong shade. But look, blends out beautifully. And it is a little bit more dewy than the light pink one was. So I think this is a beautiful blush. From now on I have only powder products and I have a lot of palettes because, well, palettes are just the most exciting thing for me. So they're obviously going to rank a little bit higher. And also most of these palettes I got to try out a little bit longer because that cream product haul was sort of near the end of October. So I didn't get to try these products a whole lot. So from here on out, I'm very confident about these products and I like all of them a lot. I just had to rank them. So at number 4, something which I was sure was going to be number 1, but then some other stuff came in. It's the Uden's Eye collaboration palettes with Judy, Tina and Annette. I've shown these a couple of times on my channel, but I'll show them one more time. This is Annette's palette. This is my favorite of the 3. This is Tina's palette from the Fancy Face. This is my second favorite. And then third, but I still like this, is Judy's palette. This is just a little bit more natural. I love these palettes, I really do, but I've played with all of them like 5 times now. And I feel like there's something missing in all of them. Just a little something to make them my favorite palettes. Judy's palette is missing a light inner corner shade or something like a brighter shimmer. Tina's palette is just a little bit chaotic, but I really like that one. I really don't have many complaints about that one. It's just a little bit of a chaotic color story. And then Annette's palette, which was my favorite, had a lot of dark shades and one lighter shade, but it was a lighter shade in a gold tone. And I would have really liked a more bluish or silvery cool toned shimmer, which was a lot lighter in this palette. And also at least one lighter matte so I could blend out things more easily. But I have to say the shimmers and the mattes in these palettes are amazing. Some of them are better than others, but all of them are good. So I really recommend these palettes and I really like them. It's just the other ones are just a little bit better. So we're moving into my top 3. And at number 3 I have my new Viseart palette, the Étendue Cashmere. I also did a review on this one not too long ago. And I have used it I think about 4 times. I really like the combination of those neutrals with the rosy tones. And I was lacking these colors in my collection, so that's what I mainly bought it for, but I was interested in all of them. And the moment I fell in love with this palette, I liked it, but when I fell in love was when I did an all shimmer look using this palette. And the effect it gave me, and I'll probably do something like a tutorial with it someday, is it kind of looks like Charlotte Tilbury shiny shadows. You know how you can use Charlotte Tilbury shadows all up to the brow bone without any problem and it looks beautiful? That's the effect you can get with these shimmers as well. So I liked it with the mattes and the shimmers combined, but I loved it when I used only the shimmers. And that's when I thought this was probably more of a favorite than the Uden's Eye palettes. But it could also be that I had the Uden's Eye palettes kind of very early in the month, maybe even the last days of September. So I played with them a little bit more. So maybe if they were newer, they would rank higher. I'm not sure about that. But the quality of the Viseart palette is outstanding. It's not as interesting of a color story, but I'm judging the quality here. Then we're breaking up the eyeshadow palettes with my number 2, which is this Chanel blush. And it's kind of shocking to me that a blush ranked this high, but I'm just so in love with this. This is from the fall collection from this year in the shade Ombre. Not sure about the number. 608. Smells divine. And this is in their new blush formula, which I really like. This is a matte formula with what's a natural matte. And this is just such an interesting shade for a blush. I'm not sure if it's going to show up when I swatch it. You kind of have to put this one on the cheeks. It's just such a velvety, smooth formula. It blends out so easily, it builds up easily, but it doesn't get too much. I don't use this little brush, it's horrible, but I use my regular blush brush and it's beautiful. And I really like this shade. It's a blush, it's not a bronzer, but it's almost a bronzer. But it's like, it's more cool toned and it's more pinky than that, but it's not an actual pink. It's just a very interesting color. And I fell in love with this one. Then we're moving to my number one. And if you have been watching my videos, like maybe you have, if so, I want to thank you so much. But at number one is the Charlotte Tilbury Celestial Pearls palette. This is part of our holiday collection. I keep it in a little box because, well, the inside is also beautiful, but I really like the box as well. I just want to keep it around a little bit longer. But the outside packaging of this product is also insane. I really like this palette. I had a little party the other day and I used this palette and I felt glorious. This in combination with the Chanel blush is just fantastic. So this is what the palette looks like. You have 3 shimmery shades and 1 duochrome baked chalet shade, and they combine beautifully. My advice is to only use 3 at a time. Use the darkest shade and use the lightest shade, and then use one of the upper shades, because otherwise you won't be able to distinguish between them. But of course you could do whatever you want, but I found that the standard Charlotte Tilbury technique by using all 4 didn't really work with this one. But the effect of this palette is so beautiful. All these shades are so pretty. I'm going to swatch it. You see that? They are really beautiful. And the duochrome is very interesting. It's this one on my middle finger. It shifts from a goldish green to a pink. And I find that such a flattering color combination. It's really, for duochrome, it's very sophisticated. So I'll swatch it here on my arm. This is the color story. It's light, but I have seen people with about NC 44 pull this one off still. So maybe it's not as light as I think it is. But it's beautiful. It's definitely my favorite palette that came out so far. Or at least in this month. I'll have to do a recap. But I feel like this is my favorite palette that came out this year. And therefore it's also ranking number 1 in this video. I did do a video with it, in case you're interested. It's up on my channel. So that was it for my monthly rankings. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.